Hey guys, Calum here. So the time's finally come to transplant my coconut sprout, so let's check out how the sprout's going. So if you compare this to last time I showed you, the root's grown a bit more, as well as it's shot out a heap more of these little white roots coming out of this one. This piece here was just a dot when I showed you last time, coming out the bottom, so it's grown a bit more, and this one's come out as well. The sprout's grown a little bit, it's split open here, so that has come out a bit, but I do think it is time to transplant it. So let's move on to that now. So I got some really good responses in my last coconut growing video as to what type of soil to plant it into, and the main one was to plant it into sand. And I also think that having a coconut planted in really well drained soil is a must. So to start with, I'm going to just line the bottom of my pot with these larger rocks, and that'll just give it some good drainage. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I've got some of this potting mix here, just normal potting mix. I'm going to put that into my pot and mix it in with some sand that I've got. So the sand that I've got, I have used some normal beach sand, but I've also mixed it in with some slightly larger rocks. I don't know if you can see very well, but there are some bigger rocks in there just to help with the drainage, because if you just have the really small sand, then it will all clump together and you'll get worse drainage rather than better drainage. So I'll just pour some of this in. I'm not really sure how much to use, but I'll go ahead now and mix it all up. I might just add a bit more. Okay, so what I've ended up with now is just the potting mix, and it's got quite a few of these little rocks in amongst it as well as sand. So we'll move on to the next step now. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I have some cacti and succulent mix, and I know that a coconut tree is not a cacti or a succulent, but this type of soil has really good drainage, so I'm just going to put that at the top of the pot just so that it hopefully has a good start, and I'll mix that with some sand as well. So I'll just go and pour that in. So I've had to go and get some more sand and rocks, but this time I've decided just to use more of the small rocks and less sand. I don't know if you can see that, there's quite a lot of rock in that. And now I'm just going to mix it into the cacti and succulent mix. So as I told you guys in my last video, I've had the roots of my coconut wrapped up in a damp paper towel. So I want to keep the same conditions for the coconut growing in the soil, and I have this leftover sphagnum moss from another experiment that I've been doing. So I'm going to just wrap a little bit of that around the roots just to keep them moist and keep it thinking that it's still in the same environment. So just going to squeeze a bit of that out. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to plant it into the soil. Cover that over. Okay, so now that it's all planted, I'm going to give it a quick water. I don't need to give it too much because I have this sphagnum moss around the roots, so they're going to stay a little bit damp anyway. So I'll just give it a small amount just to get the soil a bit moist. So the main thing that I'm looking for when I transplant this coconut is keeping the conditions as similar as I can as to when it was growing in the Ziploc bag. So that's why I use the sphagnum moss, just to keep the roots damp like they were with the damp paper towels. And I have one more trick to show you that hopefully it'll think that it's still in the Ziploc bag. So I have these 4 bamboo stakes, and I'm just going to put them on the edges of the pot. And with the use of some cling film, I'm just going to wrap it over top to create like a mini greenhouse sort of effect, and that should hopefully have that same humidity as the Ziploc bag. So I've gone and pointed these all to the centre rather than outwards because it was going to be too difficult to cover. So I'll have another attempt. It looks like I'm wrapping up a Christmas present. So I hope you guys like my little greenhouse design. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I'm hoping it's going to do the trick. I'll keep you guys updated through Facebook, so go check out my page. Thanks for watching everyone, and as always, if you haven't already, subscribe. Bye.